My sister used me as free childcare, so I showed her the price. The very same day my older sister became pregnant. She decided I should press pause on my life to care for her child. It didn't matter if it was a holiday or my own wedding. Being babysitter took priority, and I needed to get that. Trisha's entitlement started before her baby even arrived. She showed up at my apartment one evening with this color-coded binder. She flipped it open and started explaining my new babysitting schedule. Tuesday and Wednesday nights were my overnight shifts because those were her nights off. Fridays through Sundays, I had the morning slots, so she could sleep in. Christmas Day was marked in bright red with all-day coverage written across it. I actually laughed when I saw it, but she didn't. The next week, she posted on Facebook about how blessed she was to have family stepping up. She tagged me in this long post about how I'd already agreed to help raise her baby. My phone blew up with relatives commenting about what a wonderful aunt I was. When I called her to ask what the hell she was thinking, she said Mom already knew. And Mom did know. She called me that night to remind me that family helps family. After the baby was born, things went from annoying to insane. When little Mason was 6 months old, Trish showed up at my office during a client presentation. Someone knocked on the conference room door and mouthed emergency. That emergency turned out to be Trish in the lobby with Mason in his carrier. Perfect timing, she said. My appointment is in 20 minutes. What appointment? I asked. My manicure. I just remembered how badly I needed one. She was out the door before I could process what happened. But that wasn't even the final straw. My best friend from college was getting married and I was her maid of honor. Minutes before we were set to head inside, I heard crying from the parking lot. Everyone turned to look and there was Trish pushing Mason's stroller. She handed me a note that said, "Handle this. I have a date." Then she left. Mason was screaming, and everyone stared at me like, what is happening? That's when I noticed bruises on Mason's arms finger-shaped. I spent the wedding ceremony in the bathroom trying to comfort him. As if that wasn't enough, my mother became just as bad. She started bringing Mason to my apartment unannounced. I'd come home from work to find her on my couch with him. The moment she saw me, she'd leave no asking, no money, nothing. Mason flinched whenever someone moved too fast. He was clearly neglected, hungry, dirty clothes, diapers unchanged for hours. Everything broke when I announced my trip to Germany to see my fiancé. Trish immediately booked her own vacation for the same dates. "Yes, you'll have to reschedule," she laughed. Mom nodded, saying family comes first. For the first time ever, I said no. They accepted it too quickly. I should have known they were planning something. The morning of my flight, I woke at 4:47 to blood-curdling screams outside my door. It was Mason alone, in a diaper and t-shirt, freezing. A note was taped to his shirt. "Thanks for watching him." Trish had abandoned her baby on my doorstep in January's freezing cold. I wrapped Mason in a blanket and called my boyfriend. He booked the next flight immediately. Security footage showed Trish dropping Mason at 4:31 a.m. She didn't knock, just left him and ran to her car. CPS arrived within minutes. They saw the bruises, watched the footage, and took emergency custody. Trish texted me hours later like nothing happened. I bluffed that Mason was fine. She thumbs up the message. 2 weeks later, she finally came back demanding to see him. I told her CPS had him. She went from confused to furious. Mom arrived screaming that I betrayed the family. I showed them the footage. Mom made excuses immediately. Trish tried to shove past me. She shoved me so hard I hit my head on the coffee table. My fiancé arrived just in time, saw what happened, and threatened to call the police. They finally left. The harassment started immediately. Calls, texts, relatives begging me to fix this. I changed my locks after finding scratches. Someone tried to pick them. Installed cameras. Caught Trish lurking at 3 a.m. CPS interviewed me. I described bruises, neglect, hunger. Trish had to undergo parenting classes and home visits. She blamed me, complained she had to cancel her gym membership. My fiancé stayed and helped document everything. Harassment escalated. Then came the substance test. Trish tested positive for coke. Mason was placed in foster care briefly. His father stepped up, wanted custody. Evidence piled up. Photos of injuries, text messages, hospital records. Trish had been using him as a paycheck. Trish showed up at my hotel high, screaming. We filed restraining orders. Court granted them, but the family harassed me relentlessly. Mason's father got emergency custody. He sent me photos Mason smiling, healthy. Trish violated the restraining order again, but the store cameras caught everything. Mom sent relatives to harass me. We documented everything. My workplace became my safe space. Even reception helped protect me. Trish violated the restraining order again, physically grabbed me. Mom drove the getaway car. Police arrested both. The family went nuclear. I moved apartments in secret with a discreet relocation service. Finally felt safe. Mason's custody hearing came. I testified. The father testified. Evidence was overwhelming. Trish lied about everything. Judge granted full custody to the father. Trish's rights were terminated pending rehab and tests. She collapsed in court. More harassment followed from relatives. We kept documenting everything. Trish went to jail. Mom got probation and restraining order extensions. Months later, Mason's father had a car accident. CPS asked me to take Mason temporarily. I agreed. Family found out and harassed me again. Letters, stalking, daycare interference. Mom's friend stalked me in a park. Restraining orders expanded. Mason thrived. His dad recovered slowly. Trish asked for early release. I testified again. Judge denied it. Trish threatened me. Got more time. Eventually, Mason went home to his father. He was happy and safe. Final custody hearing. Trish's rights permanently terminated. She screamed so loud they cut her feed. Mom violated probation. She went to jail too. My fiance's visa was approved. We married at the courthouse. Mason's father invited us to his birthday. He was thriving. Trish violated parole, went back to jail. I stopped tracking her drama. Some family apologized years later, but trust was gone. My life moved forward, new job, new city. Normal problems again. My fiance and I had kids of our own. We raised them with boundaries. Looking back, I regret nothing. Doing the right thing cost me everything but saved Mason's life.